Back. This is Mike Brennan. We're with MITech TV, and I have a longtime friend, Dan Irvin, on. And Dan is the CEO of 123net. And as I mentioned to Dan before we got started, had a little issues there that we were going to say, well, tell the folks about what 123net does. Go ahead, Dan.
Hi. So yeah, thanks, Mike. So we're 123net is an ISP. I'll talk about our mission statement, and that kind of sums up who we are and what we're trying to do. It's building network to make Michigan businesses and communities the best connected on the planet. So what we do, we have data centers, we have network, we have the Detroit Internet Exchange, and we interact with everybody from the big three and more recently on down to residential service.
So all right. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's a nutshell right there.
All right, good. Now, one of the things that caught my eye, actually, I got a press release from your folks that you're starting something to help bridge the digital divide that you're calling Project Overcome. Why don't you talk a little bit about what that is? You muted, Dan.
A slow learner. Okay, so Mike, can I ask you a question? What when you think digital divide, what do you think?
Well, that some people can hook up to the internet with broadband and some can't. It tends to be more focused on people, poorer people just can't seem to afford the broadband because it is kind of on the expensive side, no matter what service you use. Would that be pretty good? Or,
I have to confess, I was right. I would have said virtually the same thing, a few years ago when I first started working with the Equitable Internet folks down in Detroit, and I've since learned that what 123net does, and companies like ours, is actually a pretty trivial part, at least for engineers. Getting connectivity at a reasonable price is kind of a pretty straightforward thing to think about and to accomplish. I think of that as about 25% of the issue. The real issue for me, and the hard part, not being an educator or really hyper engaged in the other part of it, is really getting people so that they're up to speed, so they're competent and can use that resource the way you and I might use it on a day-to-day basis. I mean, your company is running on the internet, mine provides the internet. We've come from a place where we've kind of gradually gotten attuned, and that's a part of our life. Many people, nationwide, for whatever reason, they're not there on the technical side to be able to use that. And of course, in many places, they don't have the connectivity that you and I might enjoy, or it might be underserved. And I really see that a lot as not only in the city of Detroit, but certainly outside of the city of Detroit.
Yeah, one of the things that I was aware of, because you made me aware of it a couple of years ago, and I don't really think it's changed, is about 40% of the city residents just don't have home internet access, which is amazing when you think about it. About 700,000 people in the city. So we're talking 300,000 people or folks can't use the internet. Well, that may have been okay before the pandemic, but now that everything's gone virtual, it's almost, school is internet and work is internet. Everything's internet, right?
When I think about that, I think about who a young person is and who knows them and what are they, right? They're kind of, their persona, if you will, is kind of what it is on the internet. Maybe you and I aren't TikToking every day, but we're doing other things. And so to kind of not have those resources and those abilities available to folks is, it's a really interesting problem, and it's something that's it's fun to try and solve.
And so you're trying to solve it. Talk about now, what is Project Overcome? How are you going to solve that problem?
So Project Overcome is a project that was, I think, the funding was gotten through the Equitable Internet Initiative, and that's somebody that we've been working with for 4 or 5 years in Detroit, getting internet to some neighborhoods down there. And so they applied to the National Science Foundation for a grant to do a little pilot project in Southwest Detroit. So their approach, first of all, the Science Foundation has funded about 12 of these projects throughout the country, in Puerto Rico and some other places. I apologize. I think Puerto Rico is part of our country, but I'm a little. Anyway, so yeah, they've funded these projects all using a little bit different technology. And the technology that we're choosing to use here in Detroit is a hybrid combination of fiber to the home, high-speed gigabit connectivity to the home, mixed in with some wireless in that neighborhood. So fixed wireless. So that's what the National Science Foundation has funded. We're just now turning people up. And so it's very exciting to see how that's going to work out.
What's your goal? Is it to be everybody in the city can play, or are you targeting that 40% that can't, or what?
Absolutely. The Equitable Internet Initiative is really targeting folks that are challenged today. They might be there might not be connectivity in their neighborhood. They might not be able to afford it. And so it's really catering to those folks is what their mission is. And we're excited to be working with them. The greater part of Detroit and Detroit's mission, I think, is really to bring fiber to every home in the city of Detroit. It's an audacious goal, but I think it really can change the equation in the city of Detroit.
So 700,000 people, how many total residences? Do you have any idea what we're looking at? 200,000, 250, something like that? Or
no, it's just under 200,000. So it's, it's a many year long project. But I think that in combination with several stakeholders and different folks, it's really exciting to think about not just having kind of equivalent to what I might have in my suburban home, but excelling that and really bringing world-class, best kind of internet that a resident could experience for everybody in the city. And, I'm excited to see that there's some traction there, not only with this little project that we're doing, but also with the administration in the city. And I think they really are embracing that goal. And, it's very exciting.
Yeah, I imagine the mayor is behind it, right?
Well, I don't speak for the mayor.
Who does?
But, certainly a lot of folks are putting in a lot of cycles and trying to figure out the very best way to bring this, make this happen in the city. Yeah.
All right. And so if people want to get more information about this, why don't you give them that information, how they can do that?
Oh boy, I hadn't thought of that. I think the Digital Internet Initiative in Detroit, or the Equitable Internet Initiative, they can Google that. They can always look at 123.net. We have some links there and we talk about it there. So that's a couple.
Good place to start. Okay. Let's talk just briefly. We got a few minutes left. I guess what have we got here that's really good? So one of the things I'd like to talk about is I know you're based in Southfield, but you're actually a state of Michigan company. And so what are we looking at? How many cities are you hooked up to? How many miles do you have out there of fiber, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we have about 4,000 miles of fiber. We're active, like I said before, with everybody from the big three on down to residential stuff. One of the exciting things is it's not just the city of Detroit contemplating these kind of fiber builds for residential communities, but it's many, many other communities that have this initiative, and we're excited to be working with some in Metro Detroit, outside of Metro Detroit, and so that's exciting. We really think it's an opportunity to kind of catapult the service that's available in Michigan.
All right, and one of your new ones you just hooked up is Kalamazoo, right?
Yeah, traditionally what our service has been to commercial entities, and so we worked there with the city and kind of made a ring, and whenever we connect up somebody, we're building fiber. The beautiful thing about that is when we build fiber, say to, a municipal building, well, that might be a couple of miles of fiber we build, and then we can serve commercial entities along there or residents along there with really world-class kind of service. And perhaps they couldn't get that before. So it's a great thing for any community to, to get companies like 123net in and do that kind of work.
All right, coming down to the end. Once again, Dan Irvin, people want to reach out to you. Tell them how to do it.
Sure. 123.net, one of the easiest URLs around.